So many American tourists associate, London with all the movies we've seen. Kings, Queens, Lords, House of Parliament, all of that. But contemporary London is incredibly multicultural with very significant Caribbean and African communities, creating a new Black British identity. This is Nelson George. Welcome to London. Shaftesbury Avenue in the West End is one of the main drags for theater in London. London theater is fantastic. Some of the best acting in the world, I believe the best actors in the world, and plays both original British plays as well as many American imports, including things like Avenue Q, which you see behind me. So if you come to London, the West End is where you see theater, some great theater, and Shaftesbury Avenue is one of the destinations you'll visit. One of the most significant figures in sort of Black British comedy, in fact the most significant figure in Black British comedy, is Lenny Henry. He's been on TV in London for like 3-4 decades. I guess the equivalent would be he's kind of the Bill Cosby of British humor. And like Cosby, he's been incredibly successful and very controversial at times in his career. Now right now if you come to London, he's playing Othello of all things at a production in the West End. So Lenny Henry, a very important person to understand if you want to understand the history of Black Britain. A lot of folks don't know, but Chinatown in London is very centrally located. It's near Shaftesbury, where the theaters are, Piccadilly Circus, and Leicester Square. So nice location if you're traveling in the tourist section of London. Restaurants here are relatively inexpensive compared to other parts of London. They stay open very late, so if you're out partying, a great place to come to after your club is closed. Chinatown's a real asset for any traveler on a budget coming to London. One of my favorite areas of London is Leicester Square. It's off Piccadilly, it's in the West End. It's a giant square where they have summertime, it's open. There's a statue of Charlie Chaplin inside of it. They also, in the winter, have a carnival, sort of a celebration of the holiday season. Now, one of the interesting things about the British, as opposed to Americans, is they don't make this big juxtaposition between family entertainment and, let's say, gambling. So here you have Leicester Square, a place with tons of families, kids come all the time, and you have a big gambling casino, the Empire Casino right here. Casino gambling is very, very accepted here in the UK. In central London, there's lots of casinos. So, thing you should know, you can have your family fun here in London and also your adult fun here in London. Probably my favorite section of London is Soho. Not like Soho in New York, which is sort of upscale these days. Soho in London is a lot grimier, but also a lot more fun. Wardour Street in Soho is my favorite street. It's got a ton of different kinds of restaurants. You can have vegetarian, you can have sort of Asian fusion, you can have Jamaican jerk chicken, you can have some kind of avant-garde European fare. So if you're coming to London and you're looking for a place to eat or an area to wander through, and just in terms of hanging out, Soho's definitely a place to come, and Wardour Street is one street that I recommend. I'm here overlooking Brixton Road in Brixton, London, England, which has long been one of the centers of the Black community here in London. In 1948, the Empire Windrush boat came in from the West Indies and brought the first really big group of people of color to England. Ever since then, there's been a really strong Caribbean community in London. In fact, reggae music, which we associate with Jamaica, is a huge part of the culture here and always has been in London because of that. I mean, reggae is to sort of British pop music as the blues is to American, in that sense that it brought a rootedness and it brought a kind of sense of community to British music that's always been there and stayed there. I'm here at Electric Avenue in the heart of Brixton. Electric Avenue obviously is a big shopping area. Lots of Caribbean merchants. I'm going to have a beef patty in a minute when we're through with this. Electric Avenue became named Electric Avenue because it's one of the first streets in London to have electric lighting. But we, mostly Americans, know Electric Avenue because of Eddie Grant's big hit dance record back in the day from the 80s, Gonna Rock Down to Electric Avenue. Well, this is Electric Avenue, and you can see it's still rocking here in the 21st century. Now, also in the last 20 years or so, there's been a really large influx of African descendants, Africans from British colonies, Nigeria particularly. A lot of them tend to be a little bit more upper class, and you're not going to see as many of them in Brixton as you will, say, working class folks. Now, Brixton is known for several things. The Ritzy Theatre is one of the better independent theaters in London. It's right here on Brixton Road. And the Brixton Academy, which is one of the really vital music venues in the city. It's an institution here in Brixton. First time I came here was back in the 80s. I saw Maxi Priest do a show here, one of my first trips to London. And Chris Rock actually sold out this venue about a year and a half ago when he did his world tour. Chris actually has a record for most tickets sold by a stand-up comedian in the United Kingdom, and part of that record was made here at the Brixton O2 Academy. Behind Brixton Academy is a mural that was painted in 1982 and reflects the rich multicultural history of Brixton. You can see that even though it was painted over 20 years ago, it says that Brixton always has been and hopefully always will be a place of pride and love for people of color in the UK. If you're coming to London and you want to get a little flavor, there's restaurants, there's Korean restaurants, there's bars, there's barbershops, African and Caribbean markets. So this is a really cool destination for anybody of color. They want to get a little flavor and get outside the tourist area of central London. I'm in Dalston, which is a heavily ethnic area of London. It's near the better-known Shoreditch, which is very gentrified, but Dalston's the real deal. North Africans, West Africans, Middle Eastern, Turkish, Pakistani, Indian, you name it, it's around here, and they all sell their wares and shop here at the Ridgely Road Market, which is off Kingsland Road, High Street in London. It's a different kind of flavor than Brixton. It's even more ethnically diverse and more flavorful. It's real old school ethnic flavor. You just saw some DVDs. They're Nollywood films. The Nigerian film industry is the third biggest in the world behind Hollywood and Bollywood in India. Nollywood films are not really shown in theaters. They're all really on DVD. They turn them out like crazy, and they are a big part of the cultural scene here in the UK because there's so many, not just Nigerians, but West Africans who follow these movies, which tend to be about superstitions, witchcraft, and gangsters. The movie Dirty Pretty Things with Chiwetel Ejiofor was shot around this area because that reflects the fact that you have Nigerian bumping up against Jamaican, bumping up against Tunisian, bumping up against Vietnamese. So this market reflects that diversity. On this trip to London, we've been to the Theatre District, we've been to Brixton, Dalston, hopefully giving you a panoramic view of this very rich and complex city. My name is Nelson George for BlackAtlas.com. Catch you in the air.